a rule not
roll-off,
using corporate logos?
effectively, Aline, isn't it?
I didn't know. I didn't read that. I didn't read that.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is
Which
different.
Uh-oh. Maybe I should have said
can barely
anything.
hear
I should
people in the
have just said
audience, that's really
thank
cool.
you
Yeah,
and
the
just shut up.
voices.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's a new there's new roll-off
Nice and
settings to the audio that we're testing that I've got working in my build, which is interesting, right? Because you guys are kind of just there, but I can't hear you. This could be this
Can
could
you
be
hear me
good.
better now? Right? It sounds better now, right?
It's
Yeah, I
gonna
can
be
hear you good
amazing.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that there's a proximity thing that going on now, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
sweet.
can't
Pretty
even
steep
turn
roll-off
here.
too.
It must be placebo.
Oh my god.
I mean, you know other
How's everybody doing?
platforms. Other platforms use logos too, right? Don't they? They've used logos many times and stuff, and
They use what?
Right?
Sorry.
like logos from companies. That's like not like it's never been a problem, right? For anyone's avatars, like using company logos. I'm not gonna do it like a lot. I'm just saying I like this was shiny, and I was like, oh, shiny Louis Vuitton is just so cool.
I think you're good, man.
So
Shiny
okay,
is
I'm good.
awesome.
Okay, I'll shut up. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Oh no, I just think you're good, man.
All right.
Sure, why not? We're at an AMA. Let's call that a question.
True. Thank you.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess the truth is, you know, it's not exactly 100% street legal, I would say, but the
Yeah,
chances of
that's
you
what I
running
was
into any
thinking.
kind of issue are extremely low because
Yeah. That's also what I was
it's
thinking.
just personal use. It's not a monetary thing. You're not trying to make money out of
No,
it.
exactly.
That kind of
Mhm.
thing. So
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
just
Unless Ready
having
Player
fun.
Me does
It's all
a
just fun.
partnership with Louis
Exactly.
Vuitton anytime soon,
Yeah, I'll let you know.
you're
I'll let you
probably
know.
okay. You're
I
probably
know.
okay.
I'm just having fun. I'm sure that's not something they care about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, how's everybody doing? This is where I just keep just basically waffling on, talking nonsense. A bit of background about that. I'm actually able to do that because of something they have in Ireland called the gift of the gab, right? To gab means to talk, basically. Irish people have this ability to just talk and talk and talk, and that's the gist of it, really. That's why I'm up here. That's why I'm doing this, so I can continue to talk. Actually, I think you guys just like to hear me talk, because I think you've got loads of questions. But nobody wants to rock on up there to the front of the beach to ask me some questions, right?
yeah.
Oh, I
I'll ask
see
you a
IT
question.
Trey is making his way over. Is he just looking to be comfortable in the middle there?
Oh yeah, I'm
or
just
you got a
being
question?
comfortable. Sorry.
You're just getting comfortable?
Just getting comfy.
Yes.
I see Mind
yes, sir.
Spigot's got his
I'll
hand
ask
up there.
you a
You've got a question?
Yeah, China. So it
Whoa.
looks like the Quest is going to be sold in China in partnership with ByteDance, and they're going to be kind of getting the income from the apps. This is all a leaker at the moment, but a reliable leaker, and Chinese appear in the list of languages, next version or so of the Quest software. So that raises loads of complicated issues for you. Do you start translating into Chinese? Do you hire Chinese staff? How do you deal with Chinese government requests for information that can then put users in jail if they say things the Chinese government don't like? How do we deal with potentially a massive number of Chinese users, Chinese speakers being in world? It's complicated. Any thought?
Yeah.
Have you thought about it yet?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it a lot. You know, we've been in talks with Pico about getting Banter onto the Pico store, and part of that conversation is them trying to encourage us to also release in China. We've also been in talks with other headset manufacturers, YVR. I would possibly question that particular point of information. Just understanding where the mechanics are, you know, competitors don't usually get into bed together like that, right? And ByteDance and Meta are absolutely in competition here. So
Yeah.
it would be very strange for Meta to try to leverage ByteDance in order to enter the Chinese market. I would think that would be very, very strange.
Well, the deal was supposed to be, that was leaked, was that, which is a lot for Meta to give away, which is that ByteDance get all of the app revenue, and Meta get all of the hardware revenue, which would make it attractive to ByteDance, and it would make it kind of at least something for Meta that they wouldn't already get. Although I don't know how much hardware revenue there is to be got, given the slim margins.
Yeah, I would say that probably casts even more doubt over it, because the Quest devices are, fairly well known to be subsidized, if not sold at under cost. So for Meta to expect to make a return on hardware revenue on devices that, and also within China, right? So China is a very different landscape to what we have here, especially when it comes to investment. There is an enormous amount of investment in China in hardware, but actually not very much in apps or software. So for Meta to kind of sacrifice that all to ByteDance, that just seems crazy. I would love to see if something like that happened, because it would just be nuts. But I honestly, I would doubt that that's probably going to be the case. Your original question, though, I mean, as it stands right now, we don't have any plans to launch in China. There are an enormous amount of complications around launching in China, as you've rightly pointed out. It involves all sorts of data sovereignty requirements, where we would have to establish an entity and servers and an entire infrastructure, everything inside of China. There wouldn't be an influx of Chinese users into the platform, and there wouldn't be regionalization that would happen to this in order to cater for a Chinese audience. It would be an entirely different app with an entirely different ecosystem, entirely different users, because of how it works in China. Everything would have to be isolated and housed within their country.
I think you're right.
Hey Zell, I'll just megaphone you there for my own benefit.
Sorry.
But what did you say there? Sorry? Nothing? Fair enough.
Oh, I can't
Everybody's
hear.
shy. No, she's muted. She's shy all of a sudden.
Oh, it's muted. No, well. Maybe
I mean, it's certainly interesting, right? It poses a lot of challenges. I won't. I mean, we look at this all the time with what we're doing with SideQuest, right? We're obviously a global company. We cater to a global audience, but particularly when it comes to China, that's a whole other ballgame. And there's a few other countries that are kind of like that, right? And some of them are, today it's a much easier decision to make, let's say, than what it was a few years back. But looking at territories like Russia, or I mean, there's lots of different things to consider there. And I think I mean, I think even some Western countries now are starting to try to implement their own kind of data sovereignty sort of things. I don't think any of that is going to hold any water, because it's just not really viable for tech startups to be able to sustain that kind of infrastructure in each individual country, right? So that's why we use cloud services and that kind of stuff. But I mean, when it comes to China, it would be pretty much everything from scratch, right? Everything that we rely on here to run this service, from our own servers to our Google cloud stuff to Photon for the networking, for the voice, all of that would likely have to be replaced with a native alternative that runs in China. The alternative would be that they would likely have to use a VPN, which I'm sure that's not going to be appreciated by the Chinese authorities. So
no, they've got quite good at shutting them down.
Yeah. No, I'd be really surprised now if Meta was to jump into bed with ByteDance to be able to release apps or release headsets in China. I think in China as well, the cost of hardware is considerably lower because of the fact that hardware is so ample, I guess. So for that reason, again, there would be like razor sharp margins, if
Feywild
any, I
has
would
joined the
assume, for
space.
Meta to be able to do something like that. There was talk a while back about Meta releasing in China and working with Tencent to be able to do that, which was also rumored, right? It was never substantiated, of course.
Yeah.
But then was rumored to have fallen through, right? I wonder if in a couple of weeks we'll hear of a rumor that this has also fallen through. As to whether it was ever the case at all, would be up for debate. But I'm sure, it's not something that they're going to confirm anytime soon. But no, it's an interesting one. Thanks for that, Mindspigot.
Thanks.
Nice one. Okay, so what I have done in the past, occasionally I'll just call on people for a hot take. Now I'll just give a quick demonstration. Go ahead, Static Threat. Give us a hot take.
Literally just been like spending all day working on audio, man. That's about it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I thank you for your
My brain
efforts.
has been stuck in audition all day.
Oh boy.
You'll hear it
And
on
that's a hot
Sunday.
take. Awesome. I look forward to it. Banter highlights, I assume.
Yes, sir.
Working with Lee.
With Lee's work.
Nice. Nice. That's fun. And that's a
We
hot
all
take.
there.
That's where I basically just pick somebody from the crowd, put them on the spot, randomly ask them to give us their opinion on anything or nothing. It's actually interesting, right? Because you could just, you can go mad with it. You can just make it up. You can just pretend. Here's another demonstration. Sarumi, how are you doing back there? Tell the room
Discord Kitty has joined the space.
how you
Hello.
are this evening.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm just doing a little comparison between my Quest 2 and my Quest 3 on the visuals.
Awesome.
Um,
Nice.
Ooh.
I'll be
Yeah.
interested to hear how that goes.
Yeah, it's wild actually. It's pretty wild. I'm in my own little world here, just looking at stuff.
Yeah, Quest 3 is a bit of a bump up, all right.
Yeah, heck yeah, it is. And the sound. But yeah, I thought it's a pretty good event to do a little test and didn't expect to be put on the spot, so thanks for that. Sean.
Yeah, no one does. You see, that's the beauty, folks, of a hot take, is that you just put somebody on the spot at random, and then, we just get an opinion. And, just one for luck, right? Like to do things in threes. Discord Kitty. Talk to
I
us. Tell us
just
your
got
favorite
here.
word of the
I
day.
have no idea what's going on. Okay, inconceivable. There you go.
Love it.
Ooh.
Perfect. That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Dubious.
So yeah, we have Static working on some audio, some work that Lee has been working on for Banter Highlights on Sunday. Banter Highlights is actually usually pretty funny.
Traveler
Not just
has
because
joined
of
the
all the mad
space.
shit you see, but mainly because you've got sort of this back and forth between Jem and Eamon, and a little bit with Helen as well. But yeah, there's definitely some character there. But yeah, and we've got Sarumi checking it out on 2 devices to see what it's like. This is it. I'm just filling time. We're just talking. I'm just saying things, words, blah 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 blah.
What did you
Blah,
have
blah,
for
blah.
dinner? What did everyone have for dinner?
I can say whatever I want up here. I can just make sounds. Right? Who cares? I mean, we're all here. It doesn't matter until somebody stands up at the front of the beach there and has a question for me. I can sit up here and just say things, and you guys are all going to sit there and just look at me. Who's in the back there? Is that Traveler? It is. Hey,
Hi.
Traveler.
Hey,
How are you doing?
how are you? Yeah, fine, thanks. And you?
Yeah, not too bad. Is this your first time on the platform?
No, it is not. It's the first time where I'm here listening to you.
Great. Awesome. Wow. It's great to have you.
Well, great first
Yeah,
impression.
thanks.
Honestly, I'm also testing out this new audio, right? Because honestly, I could not hear Traveler at all if I didn't megaphone him. Oh,
Okay.
I see IT Trey is
Yes.
hovering.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
question. Okay, so I've been testing the visuals and I've been between PC VR on Steam and just standalone. And
Gotcha.
like like some I noticed that when I'm in the standalone, just on the regular on the Quest 3, Some are like the graphics are like pixelated, and some like your shirt, for instance, like it's really pixelated.
OXSide
But then
has
when I come
joined
in
the space.
PCVR, I can clearly see your shirt in the like text and things like that. So is that in the works, or is that somehow I can fix that like for the standalone version of the headset?
Sure, sure. Well, I mean, I think it's fair to point out, Trey, that a standalone device, doesn't compare to a PCVR device, right?
Yeah.
So expecting the same experience there is probably not going to be a great, a great way to sort of go into that, let's say. But to
Yeah.
answer your question, yes, we are actually planning on doing a whole lot of work on the avatars,
Okay.
and what you're talking about is actually what's called LOD, or level of detail, where we can kind of dynamically control the quality of the avatars, the textures, and the
Yes.
mesh. And what you're talking
Yes.
about is actually the qualities of the textures on the avatars. Those
Yes.
will get reduced on standalone in order to maintain performance, right? I mean, in reality, we could pump everything up to the max, and we could do loads of crazy things in this space, but we've absolutely prioritized performance, and particularly frame rate is the big one for us. And
Got
we try to get the
you.
best that we can out of Quest. And
Yes. Cause I noticed,
we
yeah, I
actually
like
have,
that y'all use Ready Player Me avatar. I like that. And it's like, but when I'm on the Ready Player Me, like the avatars look way better when I'm creating it in the studio. But then when I come in here, it's like totally like looks different. It doesn't look as high
sure,
quality as the
yeah,
My Ready Player Me on the Ready Player Me website. And
sure,
also, when I go like in apps like Spatial, if I go in the headset, the quality of the avatar is like kind of matches kind of like what Ready Player Me website does. So I would just like I'm like, what's the difference there?
sure.
The yeah.
I mean, I
But
guess
you say it's something in the works.
Yeah, it is absolutely right. It's something after we're finished with the SDK and the menu, which we're working on now. The avatar
Okay.
system is next on the bill, right? But look, I mean, let's talk about this a little bit, right? Because I think it's
Mhm.
worth exploring this as a bit of a thought experiment, right? And why not, right? We've got the time; we can talk about it, right? So, Ready
Yeah.
Player Me's avatars have a maximum poly count of 30,000 polys.
The
Uh,
Okay.
silly and
so to
sometimes
start to put
funny
that
echo
into,
face the
I
great
guess,
has joined the
perspective
space.
a little bit, let's say a million
Evil Dead
polys
22 has
is
joined the
kind of a nice
space.
upper maximum to have in an environment that you're in on a standalone device, right? That's anything
Yes.
really over that. I don't know if Aline's here. Do you think that's fair, Aline? Million? No, is that too high? Okay, now bear in mind I'm talking about
Mm.
avatars plus world together, right? A million, maybe a bit fairer then.
I mean, that's already on the high side. A million is easy doable with easy shaders, no effects whatsoever. But you always have to keep in mind that you also want lighting, you want shading, you want particles. That's all
Yes.
coming on top of it. So I would actually say for the space, aiming for 250 to 30,000 and then leave the rest for the avatars.
There you go.
But
I mean, yeah,
Mm,
looking at the
okay.
avatars, we've got a maximum of about 30,000 polys.
uh,
Now, not all
oh,
avatars use that, but a lot of them do, don't
and
they?
one more. If you talk about polys, then you're actually talking about two triangles. So
Gotcha. My
Mm,
bad. Let's talk triangles then to keep it easier, right? That makes more
okay.
sense.
Okay.
30,000 triangles is what we're talking about in terms of the limits on Ready Player Me, right? It's not quads, it's triangles, right?
yes,
Mm,
yes.
So
wow.
30,000 times 10, simple math, 300,000 polys. That's 10 avatars in a world. Times 20
Wow.
is 600,000. Times 30
Hmm.
is 900,000. Straight away, 30 people in a room, you've kind of maxed out. So what this is doing is this gives us the ability to have more people in a room together, and not only just in a room together, but with full body avatars, with full body IK,
So what's
which
the
is
max you can have in a space in one instance?
I'd say 30 is certainly reasonable, but we've gone higher than that before. I think we've had probably we've had as many as 60 probably on our new networking system
it
in
was
one
fine.
space. But
Oh,
the
wow.
reality is, it depends, because it depends what world you're in, and it depends where the bar is in terms of what you're prepared to accept in terms of performance. And for us, generally that bar is pretty high. At least we try to aim high, right? And we try to hold ourselves to a high standard so that I guess you can get the best experience possible, right? But
Yes.
yeah, all that being said,
Okay.
it's definitely something that we want to explore and see if maybe we can just increase some texture sizes
Okay.
there whilst
Okay.
keeping the
Okay.
poly count down. But it will mainly depend on how much extra performance and headroom we can squeeze out of it when we do
Got
an
you. Okay.
overhaul of the avatars.
That makes
But,
sense. I understand. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Mm,
And thank you, Liam.
mm.
Okay. I don't see myself up there. Do you see? Do you guys see me up in the sky?
Layer change.
Yeah.
Oh,
Layer
we
change.
see you. We
Oh.
see you, all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't see the
Not
feet.
for us.
Oh, I
Oh, I
got
see
you.
your
Right,
feet.
right.
I see your
I'm in
feet
a
in
whole
PCVR.
new. Yes. I'm a whole new. I'm on a whole new build at the minute, and I kind of forgot how we're getting close to it being almost the same as the existing build. So it's it's easy to forget.
Feywild has
But
joined
yeah,
the space.
we've made some changes to the layer setup on the avatars, and obviously that's affected me being able to see myself. Is it Dome 2X? Am I in the back as well? Am I up there behind you guys too? Nice.
Yes, you are.
I have
Oh, there's Zeffy. I'm going to assume you've got a question, Zeffy. If not, we'd love to hear a hot take.
It's maybe like a sort of a mini challenge. Just like do you think I could like what do you think a design that would be hard to make, or like not hard but like cool to make, that I could do next? Because I'm going all the way to Louis Vuitton, so I need a fresh idea maybe. Well, I have lots of ideas, but they sometimes I put them to the side. But any cool challenges of clothing?
Of clothing? That's an interesting one.
I know it's a weird question. I know. I get it's a weird question.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's fair,
Okay.
especially coming from you.
Cardboard suit.
Oh yeah, true.
Cardboard. That's a good
Cardboard?
one.
All right. Is that the one?
That could be
I
the
mean,
one.
that might be easy though. Might be easy.
Okay, we'll throw in baked beans as well.
Okay, that one's good. That's gonna be hard to get to get looking good. Okay,
Yeah,
baked
well,
beans
full
and
English
cardboard together.
Full English
Baked
breakfast.
beans and cardboard.
Now
Is
we're
that it?
talking.
Baked beans and cardboard.
I mean,
Okay.
I think you can probably get away with a lot with the way your
That's
technique
pretty.
works,
That's two
you know.
browns though. That's two browns. Those are both brown, right?
Maybe.
So-
They're kind of orange beans.
I know it's such a weird conversation. I know, right? I love it.
Excuse me.
You can throw in tomatoes and sausages and go for full English and all the rest. For
Oh,
colour.
so I think English breakfast
breakfast.
outfit. English breakfast outfit.
Yeah.
Okay, breakfast. Okay,
Yeah.
breakfast.
Fried eggs.
Breakfast
Don't
outfit would
forget
be
the fried
hard to
eggs.
get good. So I like that one. Like eggs.
I'm just going to
Black
put this
pudding.
out there because I feel like it needs to be said. Weed?
Yeah. Well, I have some of those I haven't shown, but like I mean I also like I'm saving
them
those
out.
for. No,
Oh,
well,
right,
I
special
gotta save
occasions.
them for
I
the
gotcha. You got a full
events,
suit?
right? But yeah.
420's coming.
And I want to ask Fire Rat
Oh.
about a bunch of things anyway. That's true because that's really fun to surprise with the crazy stuff. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
That's a good opportunity to plug Live at the Weed End. It's an event we have every Monday where we basically just hang out. It's basically just a session. We all get together. It's Discord Kitty, Zeffy, and myself, and a bunch of other people just sort of hanging out on a Monday evening for me, probably afternoon for a lot of you.
Yeah. But
yeah,
last
yeah,
time
so
I talked too much, but maybe you two can talk more this time because I remember I talked the whole time.
You talked amazingly.
We didn't talk
Everybody
enough
loved
last time. Apparently.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Nah, we love you, Zeffy.
I'll be
Oh,
there
I love
this
you
week,
too.
but I don't have Monday off next week, so sadly I'll miss
Triffid has
it.
joined the space.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I have some ideas. I'll let you know about maybe.
Nice.
In Discord or something, or.
Right on.
Dan Gleebles has joined
Yeah,
the space.
sounds good.
You're gonna be
I
surprised.
particularly like that event
What's the point?
because
What's the point?
it's very chill. You
You'll be
get to just
surprised.
sort of
Yeah.
sit and chill out and listen to some music on what feels like a TV.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe watch
some days
some
I'll
other
just be
related
watching.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great fun. Really good fun.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to do something different that I've never done at the AMA before. I am going to declare a certain topic of conversation off limits for the AMA, and that is that there is a surprise coming on Monday. You can't ask any questions about it, though.
No questions. Nope.
No questions.
No.
Okay.
Oh god. Right, hot take from Lee. Lee, what's going on in Lee's world?
My stomach's growling.
Lee's stomach is growling, ladies and gentlemen. That is.
You should
that's
feed
interesting.
it.
Yes, you should.
I will.
Feed
Well,
it.
he's got
So
maybe
random.
inside
Oh
it.
my god. Okay.
Nice.
I have some
Oh
Chinese.
god. Brilliant. Okay, well, for anybody who's joined us late, which I don't think is anybody, because I think we've all been here, but I'll just pretend for a laugh. But yeah, anyone who has, this is the AMA. Welcome to the event. How we do this is that you can usually make your way down the beach into the middle. You can stand there, and then whenever I care to stop waffling on about something, I might notice you standing there, and I might megaphone you, and you might be able to ask a question. Any question, in fact. We started this event because I remember all the way back in 1964. No, I'm joking. We started this because people were asking questions originally at our Space Makers event. We thought, okay, let's break it out into an event of its own, and then people could ask questions, and then people would ask about space making at the AMA. So things got really mixed up, especially because they were back-to-back events, and things would kind of go awry. But yeah, I think this is a good new time for us to be able to do it right on a Friday. Oh, Peroxide's able to fly.
Good Friday.
Does anybody know how to fly? Should we talk about flying? There's apparently an ability to fly. Anybody in the room who knows how to do it, wants to demonstrate, maybe spread the word, tell people how you can fly. No, everybody's just going to jump up and down. I like it. Let's all jump up and down.
Oh,
Let's do
really?
it. Yay!
There's
a couple of methods,
Why
though,
not?
isn't there?
You don't get
You
to
should
jump
click
up and
on the
down
head
often
and
enough in VR,
teleport.
if I'm honest. So, let's enjoy it.
To burn those calories.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it.
Looks like Gooch is flying up there.
Oh, Gooch
Yeah,
is a
he's
pro
good
at
at
it. Gooch is here like 2 days,
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's
he's able
technically
to
not
leap
flying.
from the tree to the.
Heck.
What do you call that
Ragnar
section
has
up there?
joined the space.
The
I
other
cannot
tree.
Get it.
The other tree. There you go. The tree to the other tree. Nice. We should do a zip line from those trees.
I can't do it.
Oh.
Oh, don't remind me what I planned and then had to skip
Okay.
because performance.
Just put a cannon.
Why not?
That's
We
it.
don't have anybody looking to ask a question. Tell us,
Fediverse
Aline.
Wayaki
What was it
has
that
joined the
you had
space.
planned for in here that you didn't do?
So first off, yes, obviously a zip line.
The silly and
Second,
sometimes
the idea
funny
was
echo
to have
phase, the Great
some
has joined the
crocodiles
space.
swimming in the water, And if you go into the water, they will chase you and then just
Oh my god.
shoot you up in the air that you will land perfectly back on the island.
That sounds
That's
so much fun.
awesome.
Then there
I
was
love
the
that
plan
idea.
that on the docks over there, there you should be able to go into canoes and then they will drive around the island and you can have a nice nightly tour in canoes.
Oh, I remember that was a plan. I like that.
Yeah, I
That
remember
sounds
that
I
too.
like the crocs.
Let's vote. Let's vote for canoes.
The crocs.
Canoes.
Okay.
Woo!
I want to get eaten by a croc.
Okay,
Yeah,
everybody,
under the
put,
water.
by
Submarine.
put your
swimming
left hand in the
unicorns.
air if you want canoes, and put your right hand in the air if you want canoes twice as much. Go ahead.
Alligators riding canoes.
Crocodiles.
Yeah.
Okay,
with-
with the
with-
right hand.
Everybody
what
must have at
did
least one hand
Yeah.
in the air.
And,
Yellow
and
submarine.
There's
manatees.
no option
Why
to
can't we
not
have
put your
canoes
hands in the air.
and
You have to put at least
crocodiles?
one.
We
We
all
all
live
want
in,
at
like,
least
yellow
a little
submarines.
bit of canoes. Come on, let's go.
Yes,
Why
and
can't we have
crocodiles.
canoes and crocodiles?
Yes, I want crocodiles.
And then zip
Canoes
lines.
and
Zip
crocodiles.
lining crocodiles in
And
canoes.
Lining
zip lines.
alligators.
All of it. Everything. I want
Yes,
everything.
yes. Maybe as you zip line, the crocodile like comes up like Jaws from the water and tries
Yeah.
to snap you up.
Nips at your feet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
the plan.
Like
And
in,
also, I forgot
Hook
the most important thing.
and Peter
The
Pan.
idea was to have a secret tunnel in the crystal cave that leads to
Oh
a
yeah.
hidden
The
elevator
crocodile
which
man.
goes
Oh,
down,
right.
and then you are in an underground bar, and you have a huge window where you can see at the bottom of the lake, and then you see the crocodiles swimming. in
Oh,
front
man.
of
Oh
the
my
window.
gosh, I forgot
Cool.
about that.
That is so good.
Oh my
Oh, you
god.
can have a
Yeah, we need a bar. We need
It
a
feels like
bar.
it's been a year. That sounds amazing. You
That
should do
sounds
that.
wild.
Yeah.
Oh, Discord Kitty. Sorry, my bad. This is a time where I waffled on and didn't even notice you were standing there. My apologies. Go ahead.
So, are you planning to make it so we stop sliding slowly when we're standing in certain places, or is it that you don't know how and we just have to suck it up?
You're not on a flat surface. You're not on a flat
It's partly
surface.
both, if I'm honest. Yeah.
I think it's
It's a
charming.
consequence of the physics that we're using. But
Sometimes.
yeah, to answer your question, yes. What we are going to introduce is the ability to just lock your player, like anchor yourself in place. So if it's that you don't want to roll down a hill very slowly, or you would rather not be pushed into a portal, you'll have the ability to lock your avatar in place. I actually think it's pretty cool because sometimes, I like to get comfy in a seat, but then, maybe I need to go up, I need to get up to go get a drink or something like that. But I don't want to have to like end up walking aimlessly across the world while I walk to my kitchen. So I think it could be cool to be able to lock your avatar in place so that you can walk around in the real world without actually walking your avatar in VR. But yeah, I definitely think that could be useful. I hope that potentially helps. But yeah, I mean, it's actually, for those of you that aren't aware, the guest avatar is actually a nice visual representation of how the locomotion system in here works. And yeah, you're basically just a ball rolling around, and when you're on a surface like that, the ball starts to roll ever so slightly. It's something maybe we can try to tweak in future. We know we want to do a lot of work on the character controller. We're using something right now called Hexabody, or at least that's what it used to be called. But it's likely in the future we might modify or build our own custom version of that to try and improve on some of the elements of it. And maybe that's one of them, Discord Kitty. I say that as I see you ever so slightly sliding down.
Yes. I did this on purpose.
The problem is not friction. The ball rolls. It's not a friction problem.
The more friction, the more.
The ball rolls underneath your feet. So having friction could even be part of the problem, right? It's likely a combination of the settings for the mass, mainly across the various rigid bodies that make up the body of your character, and how much of that force, that downward force, is being translated into a lateral force as you sit on an ever so slight angle, right? And then that is causing the ball that's linked at the bottom to roll basically as a result of that. I believe there is quite a lot. I think it's like 500 kilograms is what we all weigh, right? Which is pretty heavy for a person, let's say. But I believe that is the optimal choice to kind of work around, Unity's physics system and some of the limitations that are in that. It's not the best physics system in the world, but we can always try and experiment with some tweaking. Go ahead, Trey.
So I know I've asked you about this before. Number one, having like some kind of a raise hand feature for events when we had event. I know you said we can always raise our hand, but is there? I would like sometime like to have a. I know this is more maybe like a request, but to have like emojis like we used to have in Outspace, like the hearts and or the laughs or something like that. Is that gonna be being considered or no?
Yeah, I mean we've been talking about that internally in a few different ways. I don't know if we fully settled on exactly how to do it, but it's likely something that we can put a lot more thinking into when we get to overhauling the avatars themselves, right? Which is, as I said before, is coming pretty soon after some of the work that we're doing right now. Yeah, I mean the raise hand feature. I think that's a separate thing, right? I think that ideally, if you're in an event space, you should have like a convenient button that you can see either fixed somewhere in the world or somewhere maybe in your cockpit attached to you that you can click on that will register you as a somebody who's interested in asking a question or making a comment, right? For instance, you've raised your hand then virtually. I think that's the best way to implement a feature like that, separate really from emojis and so forth. Then the other side of that being like an event host panel where you can see the list of people
Because
who've
it's
raised their
hard for
hands,
somebody like
go
to
through
keep
them one at
track
a time.
of who's raising their
Yeah.
hand first or who's the first person to raise their hand, and so like can they go about seeing who's the first and who's last or who's second or third or whatever?
Sure. Well, I mean, thankfully, in real life, we've had to face this problem. We've had to deal with it in the past, and
Yeah.
I guess we haven't had so much of an issue here because we generally have a podium. People can kind of queue up. That gives you a nice order to work through, and that works. I guess it works in real life, right? It works in public forum style things, but I still agree that having a more convenient, being able to kind of register your interest for a question at a distance without having to line up, right? We're in VR, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay,
But
thank
no,
you.
I definitely think we've talked about that a lot internally. In fact, I think it's one of the last final pieces in the event piece that we haven't nailed. That's really a core element, right? Is that ability
Yeah,
to raise your hand and the ability
yeah,
to, quickly megaphone and
yeah.
unmegaphone people
I really
who want to
like
talk.
how Meta does it in the workrooms where they have the button where you can raise your hand, and it
Yeah,
actually has a list of different people who's first and second and who's next, and so you can
yeah,
just. I really like something like that, something along those lines.
yeah.
But okay,
That's cool.
thank you.
Thanks, Trey. It's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I saw a post. You just mentioned workrooms, right? Horizon workrooms. I
Yes,
saw a post
yes.
recently. It seems like they are stripping some of the core features of workrooms,
Yeah.
which seems really
I think
strange.
they're about. I think that's just a hint that they're about to merge. Finally, somehow merge it, just like they did. What's that? Just like they did venues, and they finally merged venues with Horizon Worlds. I think they're eventually gonna fist them actually merge workrooms in Horizon Worlds. Finally, I think
Sure.
that's what they're about to do. Mm.
I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. It seems like the working use case hasn't really taken off as much as I guess they hoped it would, right? In the height of the pandemic, they thought this was going to revolutionize the world, but I mean, I think the truth is that for a lot of people, it's still difficult to spend an extended period of time in VR, right? And we kind of need glasses form factor levels of comfort before that can be a thing. But it's odd. It's odd to see that they would deprecate things like, the whiteboard or tracked keyboard functionality. Those seem like pretty big features that people probably, used quite a lot on there, I would say. Hey, Kurt.
Hey, how you doing? Quick question. I was just thinking, I was able to run VR chat on my Android tablet, and I was like, oh, can I run Banter on the tablet, on the Android tablet, or not? Or will I be able to?
You can. We have done in the past, and we're
Right.
working on having a mobile
Quick
build
Hide the
out pretty
Drugs
soon.
Fire Rat has joined the space.
We're working on our menu overhaul first because it's going to involve building a mobile responsive menu, which is basically the main blocker right now for us putting out a mobile build. We need different controls and mobile on-screen joysticks,
Exactly.
buttons, that
Yep,
kind of
makes
stuff.
sense.
So
Yep.
we want to build that out in the new menu system rather than have to rebuild it again. So the mobile
Right.
version's definitely coming. We've tested
Cool.
it. It runs great, right? If it runs on Quest, it actually runs pretty great on mobile as a result. So
Great.
we're working on iOS as well as Android in that in
wow,
that
you're gonna have an app?
regard
Oh,
too.
man.
So
That's
we
gonna be
we,
cool.
we are hopefully eventually going to be able to have Banter on iOS, on iPad, on Vision OS, right?
Wow.
That's probably the main motivator there. But we've got the equipment now in house, and it's just a matter of us actually getting stuck into it, and we've done a lot of work in that regard already to be able to kind of isolate the hardest parts of how we do what we do in Banter and ensure that those can work on platforms like iOS, Vision OS, iPad OS, all of that kind of stuff. Even Mac OS, right? Which is actually a bit easier than that again. But yeah, definitely something we want to be able to have. What's that, Aline?
Yeah.
Oh no. You there, Aline?
Yeah. Oops. Was I unmuted? Sorry.
Yes. Sorry. I megaphoned you and everything. It's the worst. Oh God.
How could you?
Yeah, I know, right? There's something else that Meta recently announced, in the last day or two, which I thought was quite interesting, which was that they're going to get rid of Quest 1, right? They're basically, drawing a line in the sand at the end of this month on the 30th or 29th of April or something like that. They're going to not allow any more Quest 1 updates to apps, start to slowly close out and lock that down. Do you know what I find quite interesting about those two tidbits of information is that it's pretty common for companies like Meta and others to basically air out their dirty laundry in some regards, usually before there's a big announcement. The reason they do this is so that they can just get all that nasty stuff out, and then, within a short period of time, the whole thing is spun into a much more positive thing. Yeah, like for instance, they announced the Facebook account requirement like a week or two before they released, I think, was it Quest 2?
Yeah, today's the day they're deleting them.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So they're finally deleting the remainder of whatever's left of the Oculus accounts. Right. They've finally pulled the trigger there. Kurt, I have to commend you for modifying your name so that there's no question
Thank you.
of how it's spelled. That's great.
Nice.
But yeah, my guess anyway would be that they're likely going to do something fairly positive soon, and that they've done some negative things in advance of that, so that can all just be washed out and forgotten about by next week or whenever or something. So yeah, that's my hot take, is keep an eye on whatever Meta is doing right now, because I'd say there could be something in the likes of a Quest Lite, Quest S, whatever it's going to be called.
Oh yeah.
Might show up soon. We know it's coming. You know, there's been so many rumors, a lot of leaks recently, in
has joined
fact.
the space.
Some showing some potential devices, multiple showing potential devices. Some, yeah, less credible than others, right? I think there's a lot of leaks going on at the minute. I think a lot of people are really excited and eager to see stuff. We also saw the Valve leak, which wasn't real. It's all fake. And I possibly suspect some of the recent Quest leaks might also be fake, because there's certainly some weird things about how they're presented. But yeah, who knows? I guess there's a possibility we might find out soon, once and for all, and that's going to be really cool. I think that could be a landmark event for, you know, virtual reality overall. I think you could potentially end up seeing what we saw
MRJ
with
has
Quest
joined the
2,
space.
which was, you know, 10 million devices shipped because they launched it at $300 instead of $400 and really took everybody by surprise, right? I think if we see a similar thing now happen with whatever this next Quest device is, and them sort of cutting things off for Quest 1 and putting a date out there actually makes it quite interesting, right? Because, as Faye said, them cleaning up the old accounts, trying to get everything sorted, it seems like they're moving towards kind of solidifying that paving that way, let's say, for whatever this next device is, and for that to kind of wrap up their lineup, let's say, right? Even the Rift, moment of silence for the Rift. But even it's had the last nails in the coffin most recently, right? Because now the Rift software is called Quest Link software, right? I think it's the last remainder. Even though the Oculus logo is still there in a few places, right? I think the mobile app still uses the logo, even though it says
Yeah,
Meta
it does.
Quest.
Yeah.
And we still have Oculus Studios, which is quite interesting. So I wonder will they ever fully get rid of it? But
I was
oh, wow.
happy watching the third body problem and having them reference the headset as an Oculus. I was surprised to hear that.
Ah, nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
great. That's brilliant.
Vanquish 3R has joined the space.
Go ahead, Kurt. You're already making
Another thing just popped in my head was when you put me on megaphone, it'd be nice if I got a message saying I got put on megaphone, just popping up in the interface.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good quality of life
Interesting.
improvement. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
we were also talking about that, and you know, giving people the ability to take themselves off megaphone as well, right? Even if you can't necessarily put yourself on it, you should at least have the ability to take yourself off. Yeah, no, that's a good bit of feedback, Kurt. Thank you. Because occasionally I'll like shoot people in the head with my thing when I'm trying to take the megaphone off, and yeah, I'm sure that's quite disconcerting to see that come flying across the room at you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like a laser.
I managed to get a good 20 minutes waffling out of that. What just went on there. I don't know if anybody noticed.
No, it's
I'm
good
sure
waffle.
you did.
Good waffle.
Good
Yeah.
job.
But yeah, we've got 10 minutes left, folks. I don't know, maybe
by the way.
Very quick question if nobody else has
my
one.
bad. Go ahead. Yes.
No, only just a suggestion, and I don't want to take the wind out of this event, which would do it to a tiny bit, but I don't think much. Is I'm sure you have a spreadsheet of all of your
Nukanuk has joined the
suggested
space.
things you'd like to do, the ones in progress, how far they are, any chance of publishing it? Just the where features are, features that have been thought of. Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Stick it on
Potentially.
Discord.
Potentially. The problem, I guess, is that things can be in flux quite a lot, right?
Yeah,
And
maybe monthly or weekly or something on Discord.
Sure. Honestly, I'm not sure if it is something that we would do at all. And I say that I wouldn't say that entirely, because I'd say potentially we could. And what I would think is it would make more sense for us to probably surface something a bit more high level. What I've found in the past, you kind of get this too many cooks problem. I know Shoseki is listening to me, and he's hearing too many cooks. If you don't know what that is, look it up on YouTube. It's amazing. But the problem there could be, right? There is a massive number of things that we want to complete, and a massive number of things that we've already received in terms of feedback from users. Like we've got 3 or 4 channels across the Discord, as well as hordes and hordes of internal feedback that we've got as well. And a lot of that is being churned and compiled by our internal product teams, and we're working on prioritizing that as we go. Bringing that out for kind of public comment would introduce likely a lot more inefficiencies into the entire process, really, for you and for our engineering team, our product team, our design teams, all of that. So for that reason, a better interface would probably be to communicate a high level, and then to just continue to accept in the mounds of suggestions that we do, and to kind of prioritize those internally. So that's honestly,
Yeah,
I think
I
the best
understand
way
that.
to do it.
My only thinking is that I know I'm suggesting things, and nearly always I know that it's somewhere on your priority list, and you've thought of it already, and I'm probably just duplicating effort. That was mainly my thinking, but I can see where you're coming from. Yeah,
sure. Well, I mean, we have this open approach, and that's that you can put any suggestions and feedback that you like into our Discord. And I'll reiterate this to you as well, because I think we've spoken about this before, but you should always do that. And you should do it while the idea is fresh in your mind, and dump it in there so that it's all there, right? Rather than go too far down the road of trying to evolve an idea. It's always better to get more people involved and let people see it. And yeah, I extend that to obviously everybody, right? If you've got any ideas, any issues, any comments, concerns, anything like that at all, we have our support section in the Discord. We have an ideas section. There's also a bug report section, so you can just dump anything you like in there at all. If you're in game, you can take video or screenshots of anything. Even if you have, issues with particular worlds or even other users, you can always use those to, capture what's going on. And then we've got the convenient short URL to be able to upload that straight to our Discord into the event snaps, right? We actually have something else we were experimenting with, which was kind of like a more private version of the event snaps that might allow people to be able to kind of make reports and stuff in game whenever, if you're running into trouble with people, if some people are trolling or griefing or whatever it might be. So that was definitely something we were thinking about. But yeah, I mean, I want to be open and honest and try and take the feedback in on the roadmap, but of course, I don't want it to turn into this thing where it's a lot of people, giving us a lot of inbound, and a lot of it is redundant in that case. And we're spending an enormous amount of time trying to address all of that feedback, and not really getting as much time to actually try and build anything, right? So there's always a balance here in terms of kind of the efficiency and how you can kind of approach it. But yeah, I mean,
maybe a next 10 features coming version.
I mean, I'd say a high level we could probably work towards
some
doing
high
level at a
version.
regular interval, right? Maybe we could do like a 3-month kind of sync with a high level of what we're expecting to do in the next 3 months, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think once we can get things to kind of settle down a little bit internally, I think that's definitely something we can explore.
Lovely, thanks.
Cheers.
I have a quick question. I think someone already answered for me the other night. I was asking about a quick shortcut key for easy controls and advanced 2D controls, so I didn't have to just do that every time. But
Waffle Man has joined the space.
Yeah,
I mean,
a toggle switch.
That took a few 2 seconds. I know I can do it fast. What? They lied to me then. They told me there's not actually a button. Aw.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
Okay.
Sorry. Confirming
I
what you're
read that
saying.
wrong.
So you're saying that you want a toggle to be able to toggle between the two control methods.
Am I the only one?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I think
absolutely
there's a few
not.
people
It would
who
be
actually
very useful.
who like to be able to swap between them quickly and conveniently, and I don't see any reason why we couldn't do that. For 2D mode especially. So yeah, it's probably a reasonably quick and easy one.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll take a note
Awesome.
of that and see if we can squeeze that in.
Awesome. Awesome. Sweet. Sweet.
Cheers,
Okay.
Seppi.
So I got a
Trey,
question.
go ahead.
Yes, my whole entire time in VR,
Mark and their
I
cat
have
joined
an
the
issue
space.
like understanding speech because I wear hearing aids in real life. So, is there some kind of like transcription feature in the work or transcribe text words into text like because and especially dealing with people from all over the world in different languages and things like that. So is that in the works or anyhow?
Yes, it is. Uh,
Okay.
I'm sure you've been to our gallery AI space, which does
Yeah.
speech to text in real time. That's basically the same technology, and the technology that does that actually has support for multiple languages as well, and the ability to
Mm,
translate and transcribe
Your
between
cat
languages. I
Rabbits has
believe it
joined the
might be
space.
that they
Has
can
joined the
only
space.
transcribe to English right now, but I need to confirm that.
yeah.
But yes,
Okay.
absolutely, the technology is there, and we do absolutely plan to use that. I think in future we want to give people the option to remain muted and use
Yeah.
things like that while muted. You know, you can actually speak, and the speech to text can drive either text bubbles above your head or maybe
Yeah.
text to speech, right? So that you could have a
Yes.
computer voice that could effectively speak for you. So I totally get
Mm,
that. I think Trey, you might appreciate these audio tweaks that we're doing right now as well, because
okay.
it's going to make it a lot easier to have kind of a closed conversation with a small group without having to distance yourself from the rest of the group quite
Yeah.
a lot, if you know what I mean. So I think that might help a little
Okay.
bit with anybody who struggles to kind of hear,
Okay.
especially
Yes.
you know, if you kind of
Yeah,
struggle with the
definitely.
directionality and the spatial element
Yes.
of
And,
audio,
like,
that's
cause
going
in
to help
real
quite a
life,
lot.
I kind of read lips in real life, but since we're in virtual reality,
Yeah.
I can't really read their avatar lips
Yeah.
really. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. Okay.
Well, when we overhaul the avatar system, there's likely going to be a better lip sync system that we're going to look into. So there may even be a possibility that that can get easier in the future too. I mean, I think it's
Oh,
definitely something we want to do, right? If there's a way to make it easier and to approach, you know,
yes.
accessibility in VR like that,
Yes.
it's definitely something that we're interested in. So yeah, if you've got
Okay.
any specific
Awesome.
thoughts, anything that you think that could be changed, you know, stuff that you typically
Uh-huh.
kind of struggle with,
Yeah.
definitely dump it
Yes.
into the ideas section in the Discord.
Okay. Okay, definitely. Yeah, I started that the other day. And another thing, when I'm in karaoke, why is there like people said it's my internet, but like I've used in PCVR, and it's still like a lag. Like the music is ahead of the singer, and I've tried
Gotcha.
using the controls, and I still can't seem to get it just right, like to do
Yeah,
be in sync. But
yeah.
I noticed
It's
the
actually
sync a button on the controls over there, but it doesn't. I don't. It doesn't work all the time. So.
gotcha. Um, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Trey. It's actually a really hard problem to solve. You've got different people in different parts of the world, and their voices have different levels of latency on them depending on where they are. And the video that they're each watching is also different for each individual person, has a different level of latency. We try to compensate as much of that as we can automatically in the background, but the truth is, there's no real way to be able to correct for it. Now, the two buttons which you can see there on the little dial in front of you, that forward and
Uh-huh.
backward skip, they're basically
Yeah.
designed to you know, to progress forward by half a second every time you press it, right, or backwards, and that allows you kind of a fine adjust to be able to try to line the music up with the singer for your own personal hearing. So all that does
Yeah.
really is just offsets the I know Faye's jumping around here because there's another event about to start. I should plug that and let you guys
Oh, I'm
all jump in.
sorry.
But yeah, I mean that's yeah, those two buttons usually you can ease it forward a little bit or back, and that will actually correct, and then the two will be in line. It usually works pretty
Uh,
well for me. So maybe just
okay.
try and hit it a
Okay.
couple of extra times if it's gone a bit more out
Okay.
of sync.
Okay. Thank you.
Cheers, Trey. Hey, Waffle Man. I'll tell you what. We're 1 minute over, so I want to just close up for the stream, which I'm sure ended about 10 minutes ago because I think Shoseki had improv to get to. So yeah, everybody wave at Shoseki. He's not here, but let's wave at him anyway. Faye, maybe you can tell us. We have another improv show which started about a minute
exactly
ago.
why I'm here.
That's why Waffle's here. Is he wants everyone to come on over to the Comco Improv. This is a
Come, join
monthly
us.
event with an amazing troupe from Horizon Worlds that likes to come and do some improv with us. So here's some portals and let's go.
And it is 18 plus, just a little forewarning, so
It is
enjoy
18
that.
plus, and really realize it is 18 plus. It is very
Wow,
18 plus.
so many
Let's go.
portals.
That's a lot of portals.
Portals,
forever.
so many portals.
Is it triple 18?
Thanks,
plus?
Shane.
Thanks,
Triple
Shane.
18, huh?
Hello.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, Joanne. How you doing?
Hi. I'm good. And
Jesus,
you?
that is so many portals.
I'm good, but I'm very tired tonight.
Dodge the portals.
I think I'm going
very
to
late
probably.
last night.
Yeah, I think I'm going to probably give it
It's
a
a
miss
nice little
tonight. I just
performance
wanted
test.
to try and catch some of
That
what
many portals.
Shane was saying, but I only got the last.
Yeah.
evening.